Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I wanted to show you how we can copy and move the data from one SharePoint site to another SharePoint site without synchronizing any of those sites locally. Locally, you means we have an option to synchronize any specific site to the local drive, right? Wherever our OneDrive is locally synchronized, right? And from there, we can simply access any documents to work on that, whether it modification of the documents, create a new documents and save it locally. And then those documents would be synchronized to respective SharePoint site or respective folders wherever that user has access to, right? But now when there is such activity or when there is a requirement, when we wanted to copy as well as move data from one SharePoint site to another SharePoint site, right? And why we wanted to do that? Because there are different reasons, different scenarios why we wanted to do, right? For example, we have a lot of data in a SharePoint site and that data is not being used at all. We don't want that data to be used for maybe future, maybe 6 months or a year or something like that. And that data needs to be preserved for a while or for different reason, right? So reasons could be retention or it could be anything, right? So as soon as organization has a data and they wanted to retain it for a longer time, and they just wanted to keep it somewhere separately so that people should not be able to use it, but that data can be used in future at one point whenever needed, but they don't have need now to access and use that data. So that's the one of the scenario. But there are many other scenarios where that data is not useful at all. That is why instead of keeping it to one SharePoint site, which is continuously being used, and we just wanted to move that data from that respective SharePoint site to the another, a kind of archive site, right? So that's going to be a manual way, definitely, because if we are asking end users or site owners to take those actions, then users can simply do uh, copy or move from source site to the target site, right? And that is what I'm going to show you in this video, right? So it's a pretty straightforward way. We don't have to sync any site locally, and we can directly do that, right? So to do that, I'm just going to start and show you how we can do that, right? So I have target site as well as source site. In the source site, I have some data and I'm going to copy as well as show you how we can move that data from source to target. And that's going to happen within a browser. We don't have to move to any other applications or we don't have to sync anything locally, right? Because we also wanted to save a space and we don't want it to break our existing OneDrive synchronization, which is happening, which is working perfectly. And if we do, then that means it's going to definitely break because as soon as we sync a whole SharePoint site locally, it is going to try and sync all the data from site or SharePoint site to the local because whatever the data we have, maybe GBs and TBs, right? And we don't have enough space in the local drive. That means it's going to eat up everything which is available there. And that's going to break everything, right? Because that's going to be a horrible experience if you are going to open any applications, files, and anything. And if there is no space on the local drive, that means you won't be able to work at all because there is no space because each and every application needs a memory to run that applications and its processes in the backend to execute all those operations that you are going to perform, be it opening file, create a file, editing data, modifying anything, right? Any action that you wanted to do on files and documents, right? So everything is going to be blocked and you won't be able to work it, right? So this is the simple and straightforward trick that I'm going to show you, right? So let's jump on to the demo and I'm going to show you there. So let me share my screen and we'll jump on to the browser directly, right? All right. So you can see I'm on the SharePoint site. This is my source SharePoint site. Here there is a data for us and which we can simply copy as well as move from this site to the target site. So this is my target site. You can see I don't have any data, anything over here. And this is a plain and clean site. There is nothing, right? So to do that, simply we need to add that site to the OneDrive, right? So how we can add that, right? So to add it, I'm going to go to OneDrive, and this is my OneDrive account. You can see, right? I have many different folders. I can create new folders and something like that. So we all know that we can use OneDrive in the web as well, right? But the way we want it. Now I'm going to jump on to the source site and add that site to my OneDrive so that I can select the data or pick the data from this site and move or copy that data to this site, right? So how we can do that? There is a simple and easy and quick option that we can go ahead and do that, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll add this site to my OneDrive, which is by adding this option. It says add a shortcut to OneDrive, right? So let's add it. You can see that it's going to be added. Perfect. So added one shortcut to OneDrive under my file section. Now, similarly, we have to add another one, which is this one, which is archive site, where I wanted to copy and move data from or to data, right? So let's go ahead and add this as well. So once it's added, you can see that this is also added. Now let's jump back to the OneDrive, and I'm going to show how it looks like over there, right? So once it is added, it's going to be showing up over here under the folder section. So let's refresh it once and we should be able to see it. All right, here you can see that this site is added, right? Which is email data do not use, which is a source site for us, and that's added, right? And the another site, which is archive one, that is still not showing up, I believe. Oh, perfect. Here it is. It just took a few seconds to synchronize that one. And you can see that this both of sites are added. And you can see both sides are showing up over here, right? You can see that sharing settings, which is on the owner as well as the whole site, right? Now, how we can move as well as copy the data from source to target, right? So let's jump onto the source site here. And I wanted to copy this folder, right? So to do that, I'll simply select that folder and click this button. From here, we can have copy as well as move. Also, we have the same options from here. Just click on three dots, copy this, and from here we can simply, no, this is the copy link. So move to and copy to, right? So I'm going to copy this folder to that respective target site, which is archive site, this one, right? So that we wanted to put that data. So let's go back, and we are on the section where we get options to select the respective target, right? And select my files because that respective site is showing up over here, right? And then click on archive site where we wanted to copy it. Once we select that, we get this space which says this folder is empty. Once we are here, just hit this copy here button, and that's going to start copying folder, right? So you can see that copying one item, and in this folder there is not much data, and that is why it is just trying to copy it as soon as possible, right? You can see that. All right, it is completed. You can see that this should show up over here. So let's refresh this page once, and we should be able to see that one. Perfect. You can see that this folder has been copied perfectly and successfully without any issues, any breakers, anything, right? And the same folder is available over here as well. Why? Because we have copied that one, right? Now, what I will do is I will simply probably just select this folder and move that, right? Because I wanted to move from this site to that site, right? So from here, we can select move as well as from here as well from this three dot ellipse. Just move it. And then we got to select that respective site where we wanted to move, right? So once we are here, just select the target site and you get to this button, which is move here option. Just click on move here and it is going to happen. You can see that moving one item, that means it's going to take few seconds, and if there is a lot of data, it might take minutes as well, maybe depending on the data and files and whatever is there in that respective folder, right? So that is why if you are selecting more than one folders, more than 5 or 10 folders, it definitely is going to take time to copy as well as move that data and folders, right? So give that time to copy and move, but it also saves a lot of time and a lot of local synchronization space and everything together. So this is pretty straightforward and helpful as well, right? So let it move. You can see that the folder is moved, but there are some items. Those would be moved gradually. And to see that progress, right, you can come back here and you should be able to see that progress over here. Or simply you can see that, just expand this one and you will see the progress, which is showing up moving one item and the folder name, and it's going to show. Even if you wanted to stop and cancel that one, you can simply click on this cross button and it is going to cancel that movement or copying of that files and folders, right? So this way it is going to be pretty easy and straightforward to do that, right? So let it move. Now I'll show you how we can move files. Perfect. So this folder is moved successfully and we can just refresh once, and also we can refresh the source as well. So in the source side, we don't see anything over here, right? Everything is moved successfully without any issues, errors, right? And similar is available over here as well, the target site, right? So this is going to be straightforward. It does not need any Power Automate flow, anything. Even we can do that using Power Automate flow as well. And that can be either scheduled Power Automate flow or something like that. But this is going to be straightforward with manual steps and manual actions, but you don't have to do synchronization to the local drives and do all of that movement and copying files, right? Now let's go back and move the files. We saw copying folders, copying as well as moving folders. Now let's move to the, or let's move some of the files. Let me select these 3 files. I'll just move to, and then we can just simply move those files over there, right? So let's jump back to the my file section. Then archive site where we wanted to move, and then move here, right? So once it is, you can see that moving 3 items, and it just took around few seconds. You can see all those items are moved successfully, right? We can refresh this page and all right, so those files are moved successfully here, right? So this way, this is going to be straightforward for us to copy as well as move files within SharePoint sites manually without adding or synchronizing those locally and without adding using any third-party tools at all, right? So this way, it's going to be straightforward as well, right? So now this was moved. We can just, I'll show you how we can copy as well, right? So let's say we wanted to copy these 2 files. Just select those, then copy, and then we can just go back to the target site. Under my files section, select this target site, and from here I'll just simply copy it here. So it's going to start copying 2 items, and those items will be copied within few seconds. Perfect. So those are copied here, and just refresh this page. Perfect. You can see those files are copied, right? So isn't this perfect way to move as well as copy items between SharePoint sites? And this is going to save a lot of local synchronization issues and all that kind of problems, right? Which we don't want it to happen. And as an end user experience, we can do or we can improve on it as well, right? So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you and talk about. And towards the end of this video, I also wanted to show you how we can disconnect this respective sites that we have added as a shortcuts, right? Because once we move as well as copy data, now we don't need those sites to be shown up here, and we don't want it to keep it or use it simply, right? If I wanted to remove it, I can simply select it here, and then we have option either to remove it as well as we have other options, but this is the direct option to remove it, right? So it has just created a link to our OneDrive, and that way we can remove it. So let's click on it. You can see that I removed one shortcut from my files. Simply I can remove this as well. Perfect. So now those sites added over here are removed, and there is no impact on the site level at all. You don't see any impact like any files deletion or any changes or anything. Nothing is going to happen at all, right? And everything is going to be as is. It is just that the shortcut which we had added, that's going to be disconnected from the OneDrive section, right? So this is what the complete video is, and this is what I wanted to show you and talk about how we can copy as well as move the data. And this is pretty straightforward and easy way to copy as well as move files between SharePoint sites, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. Let me know if you have done this before. Have you faced any issues and challenges? And if any questions, do let me know in the comments below. And I would be happy to help and answer on those questions. So yeah, that's all. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and people around you so that they can also learn about this one and do their own activities instead of reaching out to IT help desk and support for data copying and movement, right? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so that you can see every new video once it is available, and it's going to be pretty easy for you to keep learning on the new topics. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.